Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 34. And for the first time this year, we come to you following a loss. So we're going to be talking everything that we can possibly talk about for this Minnesota Viking thumping that we were given. With me, as always, my resident main man here, Mike, and then we got Chris down here at the bottom. Mike has got a videography and photography channel, Mass 3 Productions. Go follow him on YouTube. Follow him. It's pretty much all social medias, right?
Yes, sir.
So all the social medias, go find Mike at Mass 3 Productions. Down here at the bottom, we got Chris, host of his own podcast channel, That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Please go follow him. Hit a subscribe, hit a like on all social medias for Chris. Trying to lift these gentlemen up. With that being said, let's try to keep elevating this channel. We're at 165 subscribers. Now, at the beginning of last pod, we were at 125. So, pretty big growth between now and then. So, like to keep that ball rolling. We're catching up to the Jaguars pod, Third and Teal. They're at just shy of 250 subscribers. I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to catch them. So maybe our Texans fans can help. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And gentlemen, let's get started here. 34-7. Who wants to just dive in on this real quick?
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, God. Just to bring up one of the first things is a couple people that are Texans fans like me, season ticket holders, whatever. The Texans send out this email that tells you how to watch the Texans games. Everything they listed today, pretty close, but they were missing one thing. There was no way in hell you could watch this game sober. Nowhere did they list on their whiskey, beer, vodka, whatever your poison choice. It was needed to watch this debacle.
Yep.
And it started from the beginning. And it ended bad. Oh, I don't even know which team I was watching. Man.
We have one every year, you know.
I'm glad we got it over this. If this is the only one, let's get it over now.
Well, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're not going to lose any more games. But this, if we're going to lose, at least make it competitive. Like, what the hell was that? 34-7? This is Sam Darnold. The man who can't even see his reflection in the mirror without flipping pissing himself. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. He did turn out to be a little bit more athletic than what I expected. I will admit I did not know Sam could get away like that.
Yeah, he's got some.
That was the big deal about him when he came out of college, that he could get away. That was the big deal about him and Josh Allen. They came out in the same draft. And we don't all we know is Sam Darnold is bad. That's all we know is that he's bad. So what does that tell you? He was just in bad situations, in my opinion. I mean, you get to a good one, and Lord Jesus, it does help that for some reason Justin Jefferson is just wide open. Lord Jesus. But and not even just today. Anytime. Justin Jefferson, for some reason, is just Lord Jesus wide open.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. Apparently, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Andy Dalton played twice today. He suited up for two different teams, and he went off for both of them. That's all I'm saying. Because they was twins today.
Yeah. Look.
Bait and switch.
For real.
Lord, oh man.
Yeah, Darnold has a literal, best game of his life.
Yep.
I don't understand. There were a lot of times where Stingley would be in coverage, and he's on Justin Jefferson, who's probably one of the best wide receivers in the game, even when he's not feeling 100%. So it's a tall task, but there was a lot of times where Stingley was just this close. just a little bit out of reach. And there were a couple times that we were saved by penalty from having a higher score in this game. It was not okay. Like,
The thing
for the pass rush, this game would have been a lot worse.
Yeah. The defensive schemes, I know for a fact that D'Amico's going to have to go back and look at it. There was a couple of different plays to where I saw Eric Murray one-on-one with Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Oh my God.
How the fuck does that happen?
Oh my
Eric
God.
Murray?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I can't fault Eric Murray for getting beat.
No, it's Justin Jefferson.
It's Justin Jefferson.
Covering him for Justin's touchdown.
Yes.
I'm literally watching this happen, and I'm like, for why? Where's Caleb Bullock? Where's literally anyone else?
Anyone else? I thought it was Jimmy Ward. When they first showed the highlight, all I saw was the 2 and a second number. I didn't pay attention that it was a 3. But then when I watched, I was like, that guy's a little small to be Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's Eric. And the announcer said it just as Eric Murray with the one-on-one coverage. I was like, oh. Yeah. So we earned that touchdown. We gave that one to him.
Yep. Look, I mean, like, this was like from the first series, the pass getting tipped, what was the holding call on Cade Stover, which basically necessitated the following play of throwing the ball, gets tipped up in the air, intercepted. They score on a 6-play, 21-yard drive to go up 7-0. And then the next drive, we end up punting it, but there was that situation where it looked like Dalton Schultz caught it and had it stripped out, and then they picked it up and ran it down the field. Fortunately, they reviewed that, turned that.
Thank God for the incomplete pass.
And then, like, that could have just, like, we could have been at, 34 points at halftime had this not been that, hyper analyzed by the refs. It feels like.
Yeah,
I feel like the refs were on one today.
There's a lot of different things that happened to make this game bad. Yes, we're talking about the defense, but if you look at the time of possession, the defense was on the field most of the damn game.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to be fresh as daisies all game when you're chasing around one of the best receivers in the NFL. Aaron Jones looked like Aaron Jones from Green Bay, how he was just running over people.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, this was exactly what I thought this game was going to be. It had the potential to be. Brian Flores kind of showing how to stop the Shanahan system. Bobby Slowick needing to outduel him, and he didn't do it. I don't think it was all necessarily on him. There were probably some creative things that the double pass that they did today. I mean, like, they're trying interesting things and got a first down, but like it just couldn't culminate anything. One drive in the first half had 5 penalties, 4 false starts, 1 illegal procedure, where basically everybody on the offensive line was penalized for something at least once, except for Kenyon Green. That we were at the like 20.
It was like third and 2 or 3. And it ended up being like 3rd and 20 or 3rd and it was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
We took us out of field goal range. It was ridiculous. Like, I was sitting there and I'm like, what am I seeing? It was to the point to where I thought they were doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Minnesota's crowd is very crazy. So I get it. I get what the issue is. Well, with that goes, okay. So a few of those people, I will give passes. I'm not going to give a pass to Larry Tunsil. He doesn't win a squad.
Nope.
He doesn't win the squad. We were playing at home. Wasn't there a lot of Bears fans though there last week? Last weekend when you went, was there a lot of Bears fans? So it might have been a little out there. But he doesn't when we're at home. So he's the only one I'm not going to get a pass.
No. Larry Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil is paid too well to get a pass. He can afford to pay us back for a pass, so he doesn't get one.
That's my point exactly. So it's just he does it all the time. That's been my only issue and gripe about him since we have gotten him, since we had him, because we got him for Deshaun Watson, to protect Deshaun Watson. But all he's ever done is false start. Does he protect the quarterback well? Of course, he is great at that. When he's not false starting.
Yeah.
It makes me want to cry because I can see it. I can see. I don't even watch for stuff like that, and I can see it from a mile away.
I was watching this game so hard that I went back and looked at the roster to make sure that Blake Fisher had dressed out, because I was like, "Hey, coach, I know what we pay him to do, but every once in a while, people need to sit down and watch somebody else play."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
highest paid and probably our worst lineman right now.
Yeah. Titus is not playing well at all.
Titus isn't playing well, but I think Titus got called for one false start.
Yeah.
Laramie, about 6 or 7.
Yeah. I am curious to see how many of those were on him. I can definitely remember at least 2 or 3 being specifically on Laramie, but at this point, I mean, dude is just like, how do you keep doing this? Like, you would figure that this would be something that they keep working on or something, but like,
well, at this point, wait till the other guy moves. Don't move till he does. Fuck it. Just don't move. Just when you see your defender across from you move, then move. If all else fails, he drew you off sides now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it wasn't like they statistically blew the doors off of us. Our defense had a lot of moments of like resiliency and whatnot, but it just can't be continued, like prolonged efforts on the field for the defense and expect any sort of continuity. Like,
Petrie is having a renaissance year. He looks great out there.
He looks great. What's it called? Looks great. Al-Shaair, he looks great. I thought
Toa had a good game again.
Like I said, and that's why I think I understand that Justin Jefferson was open against everybody, but I felt like after those first 2 drives, the defense stopped them at least 3 times in a row. If I'm not mistaken, I saw 3 stops by the defense where they held up their end of the bargain, and then the offense, like I'm looking at it right now, Tunsil had 6 penalties, so he had more than half of our penalties. 3 and 3. 3 and 3. I'm sorry. I heard y'all talk about the defense, and I was looking at it. Sorry, it bothers me because that's the one thing that's always bothered me about him, and like that is not a winning situation. You start to frustrate your quarterback. Like that is the guy who we want to pay a whole bunch of money because he takes us to a Super Bowl. We're gonna pay him a whole bunch of money anyway because I don't care. CJ was bad, but you know, it's just all of it wasn't his fault. Like I literally saw CJ. It's like the ball just had to leave his hand when he got it in his hand. It had to leave his hand right then. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
Honestly, CJ this week looked like Williams from last week. How we had Williams looking is how CJ looked this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't breathe. He had no room to move. He couldn't step into his throws. He couldn't find his receivers even if they were open. And I would tell you, they really weren't that open.
Yeah.
They weren't.
I agree.
Brian Flores did his goddamn job.
Yeah.
If there's a head coaching position open next year, which there's some every year, he'll be interviewing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the guy who he made look fucking silly today. Slowick looks silly.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I mean, where he came from, they didn't do much better against him than we did. Their defense did better, but their offense did about the same. Had it not been for a fumble recovery in Vikings territory, that wouldn't have been a 1-score game against the 49ers. That would have been a 23-7 victory for the Vikings.
Yep.
This
Look,
is a Vikings defense that is for real. 3-0. And
I'm gonna say it. Sam Darnold might be for real too. He actually might.
Is he experiencing the Geno Smith conundrum where you
It
just gotta
might be.
wait long enough after you leave the Jets? And then
But-
after all the shit from the Jets is out of your system. You're
It just seems like you have to get away from a bad franchise and you'll be all right. It sounds really bad, but it is get away from a bad franchise. No, don't get me wrong. I know the Carolina Panthers are a bad franchise, but they did win today, so it kind of saddens me for Bryce Young that they won.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sun shines on a dog's ass. It's okay.
I understand. They didn't game plan for Andy Dalton. He'll probably be bad next week. It's fine. But still, I think that I think just the whole game, everything, like you say, special teams was the only thing that you looked at and had a bright side about. Everybody else was bad. And like I said, I thought the defense did what they could for what they were given. The offense didn't give them anything. And I understand it wasn't everybody on the offensive fault, but the offense has to fall on it as a whole, because the first touchdown does not happen if the defense isn't put on the short field. They're on their heels at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
That's an offensive line issue. You're getting pushed back, and man, it's just I think our line is better for the run. And they didn't trust the run without Joe Mixon or Dameon Pierce being there. That's how I felt the whole game. They didn't trust it with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce being there. And
then that's not a good offensive line for the run. If you have a good offensive line for the run, you put any running back there, and he can do something.
Yep.
Yeah. But they can't. It could have been Cam Akers fumbled. In the red zone last week. There could be a lot of things, because I noticed immediately they didn't even try to run with him early at all. They tried passing the ball early, and what happened? Interception.
Yeah.
It's not how they were playing with Joe Mixon. Not even with Dameon Pierce. They ran the ball.
Yeah.
So, like I said, one thing that Curtis said is probably correct. This Vikings defense is for real.
Oh, yeah.
They are for real.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're
Jonathan Grenard, 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Did Neil even get one?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so.
I don't think he got one. I know Will Anderson did.
And I know he got a penalty, but like I said, that's that one. Maybe if Sam Darnold don't get a half a second, he's there a half a second sooner, and he's getting pushed in the back on the ground, mind you. But the quarterback's more important in that matter, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. Rest in this thing, it's fine. We can go on to the next topic, fellas.
Well, look, let's get into risers and fallers. So for me, fallers today, the offensive line as a whole.
Don't single anybody out. That's correct.
Yeah.
Even the guys on the bench got to take some of this L.
Look, I mean, Scruggs missed last week, so maybe you could maybe sprinkle a benefit of the doubt on him. Maybe he's just a little, not as in tune as he was week 1. I don't know. But, I mean, realistically, when they tried to run the ball, it wasn't doing a whole lot. When they're trying to throw the ball, they weren't giving CJ much time at all. The guys that we're paying to be, a top tackle tandem played like average dudes.
Oh, you being nice. You gave him average.
I mean, yeah, I'm being nice. But they're paying so much money to these guys. I know with time, the whole offensive line is going to gel with time. And the same 5 guys. But at what point do you think, if the same 5 are all available and healthy consistently, and maybe Titus keeps messing up, at what point do you think they actually consider pulling him?
Game 6. By game 6, they'll make the decision. You might see some shift in it. it might end up being that they don't pull Titus and they pull Laramie, and Titus just moves to left tackle.
That would be weird.
But that's what Titus has played his best football was actually at left tackle. But you're paying Laramie a lot of money.
Yeah.
To jump
Swap
offside.
him? What are you going to do? You going to pull Laramie off the field?
Pull Laramie off for a game or two. Like I said,
what's swapping going to do?
Huh?
He was talking about swapping them. And I'm like, what's gonna swapping them going to do? The issue with Laramie is not his.
It's not a swap. You get Laramie off the field, you move Titus to the left, then you bring Blake Fisher to start at the right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. I think at that point, if you're pulling Laramie off and you're saying Titus is giving you better tackle play, you leave him where he's at. Don't ask him to change his game up. Leave him where he's at, and
Maybe
put Blake Fisher out there at left.
Can he do worse?
He can't. I mean, in theory, I guess he could false start every play, but that would
have to.
That's the only way it would be worse.
Yeah,
he literally have to. What I saw today was atrocious.
Yeah,
it was atrocious. I was more when you talk about fathers, the entire offensive line, that was atrocious. That is the thing that I have. Of course, there was issues around the whole team. I get it. The whole team was bad. I'm not going to say that, but the offensive line was atrocious the entire game.
Yep.
Even on the drive that they scored a touchdown, they were atrocious.
You know what? We've beat the hell out of this dead horse. What's your other faller? We know this offensive line is just bad right now.
Next,
give me a riser.
Next, you want a riser?
Yeah, give me a riser. I need some positive.
How about the pass rush? If nothing else, the defense was able to get in the quarterback's face every consistent, like with pretty good consistency. Darnold wasn't necessarily able to sit back there and just dot us up. Most of the time, he's having to move out of the pocket.
Yeah, he didn't look terribly comfortable today. So, no. Yeah,
I think we have a really solid pass rush when it comes to not just the edge, but the interior players as well. Mario Edwards Jr. is playing well above his pay grade right now.
It's been playing like that since the beginning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They said that man has a mean streak, and I've seen it now. I've actually seen that mean streak. It's real.
Yep.
But Tim Settle, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't know who the hell he was before this season. Before he became a Texan, I had never heard of him.
Okay.
Heard of him either.
I was, but I play a lot of Madden.
Maybe I need to get back to playing some more Madden because Tim Settle was slept on. That's a guy. He's not even a starter. Is he third string?
Yeah, he's the third string rotation guy. So it's Mario Edwards Jr. and Folo or Fatakasi are 1 and 2, depending on if we're in base or nickel, and he would be 3. He's a definite usual run stopping guy.
So in other words, if Danico Autry was playing, Tim Settle wouldn't even have got on the field.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. More than likely.
Okay. All right. I'll give Matt Burke his due. He got that defensive line ready to play if nobody else did. Because Daniil didn't get a sack today, but he was definitely back there giving the headache to it. Will Anderson was back there. Fatakasi, I saw even him a couple where he was back there giving the pressure.
Yep.
I think we need to work better on stopping the run a little bit more, but that might have just been tired.
Yeah.
The defense spent most of this game on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they didn't even run the ball as much. Remember, Justin Jefferson was so open at the beginning of the game. They weren't even really running the ball. I know Aaron Jones had to had the touchdown pass that he got on that second drive. They ran it a little bit, but I don't think at the beginning we were doing bad in the run. I think at the end of the game when they were tired, the run just looked like it was a lot more. We were wore down.
I will say this: Aaron Jones hit the century mark. He put up 100 on us.
Yeah.
So he put up 100 on us, and his backup didn't have a horrible game. Yeah. This was our worst game defending the run this season, and it's not even close.
Yeah, nobody's been over 100.
This is what I expected week 1 against Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I was not expecting this week. I think when I think of quarterbacks who aren't great, I assume that the game plan is get the run game established. That way, play action is open. People are biting on that. You can throw screens. You can kind of do whatever you want. And I don't know what it is, but it seems like NFL coaches or maybe the teams are just coming out flat as hell. But that simple game plan has won the Packers 2 games in a row now. It won the Vikings game today. I mean,
it don't help when Justin Jefferson's always open for some reason. I understand he has some tough pitches.
even with all of that, there was a moment during this game where I can't even remember who it was. The quarterback got hit and he threw the ball backwards.
Yeah.
It bounced 4 times. The running back picked it up and ran it for 9 yards. I was
no, could not believe that. No, okay, so like that's
everything went right.
Yeah, everything went right. So like this game was a lot of offensive line was an issue, but there was a lot of luck that went into this game also. We're not going to ignore that, but I mean, I think
But can you call it luck when they're kicking your ass?
That's what I was about to say. It doesn't.
I mean a little luck. I'm not saying a lot of luck, just a little luck.
But you can't. You can't call it luck when they're kicking your ass. It's something different. If we were ever in this game,
yeah,
we were out of this game before the first quarter was halfway over.
Yeah, we were already down 14-0 by what, like 7:30 in the first.
And I felt very confident about them with the way the defense was playing at the beginning, but they were on the field so long they just got wore down. And like I said, the offense couldn't get anything going. Brian Flores and the crowd, man. It's just, man, we're gonna see, like, it's as bad as it sounds with our offensive line. We need to do a lot better the rest of the season because we're gonna need we're gonna need to be like number 1 seed because we're not gonna travel well in the playoffs.
No,
not with that offensive line. Not with that offensive line. I mean, and I don't mean like getting beat. I'm talking about dealing with other crowds. That is the issue. Dealing with other crowds because that plays a part too.
I'm gonna be honest. From what I saw right now, I don't think it was the crowd.
I mean, it definitely didn't help. It was definitely pretty loud there, but
the Vikings have one of the loudest crowds.
But I don't think it was the crowd because the illegal formations have nothing to do with the crowd.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's true.
They have nothing to do with the crowd.
Things like that were just kind of shit.
Yeah.
Let's get smaller real quick. We've already been talking about it. It was the run D. The run D, like, where the hell did that go? First 2 weeks, nobody could run the damn ball on us for anything. This week, knowing it's the game plan of keeping Darnold and this Vikings offense consistent, we couldn't stop the run and we couldn't stop the pass. Now, it's not like Darnold threw 300 yards or anything. I think he actually threw for like 188 yards. But
in 3 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
4. Oh, yeah, he did get that 4th one. I'm sorry.
4 touchdowns.
Look at me. I'm sorry, Sam. I wasn't trying to shortchange you. I wasn't. I promise.
But like,
you got some respect from me though, not because of him beating the Texans. He got some respect from me from the way I saw him play today. Yeah. That's the respect he got from me, just in general. I thought he played the game very well. He didn't make mistakes. He that's what he did. He limited his mistakes and he took what was given to him by the defense. And you couldn't ask for anything more from a quarterback.
We've bragged all year long about CJ not playing hero ball. That's not true today. He had to, but We saw what happened when he tried to. He got to forcing the ball downfield because he was trying to push it. And towards the second half, it looked like he just sort of said, you know what? Let me check it down.
Yeah.
Dalton's wide open down there. JJ Taylor, Dare wide open on these little check downs. It's 3rd and 19. I'm not going to get 19 yards.
No. But, I mean, Dare did get on that 3rd and 19. I think he did get like 17 yards.
Yeah, he got close. You got damn close.
He did. But, I mean, look, the whole team today holds this L. To me, there's not one like individual unit that you can singularly say they were the entire reason we lost. The whole team. Fairbairn misses a long field goal to start off.
Man, I forgot all about that.
And that was barely, but it was something, a little thing that, you know, normally we can kind of count on. That normally we're like, okay, we're on the board. You know, we can build on this. What worked, what didn't. And instead, they're set up with great field position and they drive down the field and score again.
Was that on the okay? So Fairbairn. So was that after their first touchdown that Fairbairn missed that field goal?
Yeah,
3rd series after their second, actually.
Okay, so that's what I thought. It was after their second. Okay, yeah. Because I was about to say after. That was. Yeah, I thought that was a big deal. Him missing that field goal. I think it just took everything. It seemed like it took everything, even though he shouldn't even been kicking the field goal to begin with. But I believe I saw penalties on it. Yeah, I feel like I saw some penalties on that drive. That's the reason it ended up being a field goal to begin with. Whatever. I digress. It's fine. You know, the week. You know, it's fine. Hey, doesn't matter to me. My fantasy team is kicking butt today, so it's fine.
Mine's not. I needed Nico Collins to score a touchdown so bad, and he just didn't. And I was so mad.
Oh man, I apologize for that.
It's all right. It's all right. He got some passes on, and that was good enough. But I mean, good googly moogly.
Even saw a Tank Dell sighting today.
Yeah. Look, we've talked about how all of this negative. We've talked about the pass rush being really kind of the only light in this dark game. What is something that we can take away from this game that is a positive?
We play the Jaguars next week. We play the Jaguars next week.
It's in Houston, right?
My answer to your question.
Yeah. Now, the last 3 years, I don't think we beat Jacksonville in Houston.
That's fine. I still think that's I don't think there's no way. I mean, of course, it could happen any given Sunday, but Jesus.
As somebody that's been to a good deal of these games against the Jaguars over the last 15 years, that's going to be a tough game no matter how bad the Jaguars are.
Yep.
True.
It always is.
True. I agree.
I don't care. Bro, I've seen Blake Bortles beat my team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what
so
was it?
I don't put anything of like, oh, this is the easy win or anything like that.
The same thing with the Colts.
But the Colts have been good. I'm not upset. There's practice next week. I wish I could be a fly on the wall when this discussion happens, because there ain't nowhere D'Amico can turn. And you know, D'Amico's a super positive guy. He can't turn this one around and make it sunny.
No,
he can't.
No.
And the fact that there might be more injuries next week than there was this week, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the game, guys. That's one of those I can't even be mad about. I mean, I know we already got in. I think a big thing, another thing I know I talk about, the one thing we forget, we also didn't have Brevin Jordan. He's gone for the season. So that's a big deal too, in my opinion. I think that's a big deal because I think his run blocking is really good also, as well as his pass catching. So
I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we didn't miss him at several points. Maybe, you know, it would have been nice to have him out there in the flat instead of Dare or hitting Cam Akers out there. But I don't think he would have made the kind of difference that would have put us over.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's not a a significant difference, but just maybe that body would have made some type of difference. Just like I say, everything. In my opinion, Minnesota played good, and things just feel the right way for them today.
Yeah. Curtis, the one thing you asked about was the positive of this. The positive of this is, if nothing else, this is going to humble some people in that locker room. There is no way you can win 2 games in a row, barely both games, then get your ass kicked the 3rd time and be like, I'm good. That rolls off my back.
Yeah.
CJ should be angry. Joe Mixon was sitting at his house probably angry as fuck.
Yep.
I'm just telling you that that's the one positive of this is, hey, you're not unbeatable.
Yep.
That 17-0 thing you had in your head, throw it out. It's not real. It's not real. Now you know you're beatable. And the rest of the NFL is going to look at what Minnesota did against you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to do it again. CJ is a film study guy. Slowick is a film study guy. D'Amico is a film study guy. This is a hell of a video to study.
Yep.
This one right, this could make or break your team. If the Texans can figure out and correct a lot of the things that went wrong this game, they're going to beat the brakes off of Jacksonville.
Do you think that if both of the running backs, Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, are unavailable next week, you think we might see something like this again? Maybe not to this level by any means, but maybe some like some ineptitude on offense because we don't have a running back.
If neither one of those guys are ready to play next week, I actually think we might see more British Brooks at the running back position as opposed to the fullback. Your offensive line can't open up holes. Cam Akers is smaller than me. He's not the type of guy with a body to open up some holes for himself. Joe Mixon is.
Yeah.
Dameon Pierce is. You're going to need a bigger body running back in there if this is what the same thing you're going to be dealing with next week. And I guarantee Jacksonville is going to, I'm not going to say clog up the box, but they're going to muddy it. That's what Minnesota did. You had no idea who was coming and who wasn't. But there were 8 guys in the box before he said, huh.
Yeah. I think another positive is, it sucks that we lost. The positive is it wasn't a division loss. It's not even a conference loss. Now, if it comes down to it, we will have, tiebreakers with the other teams in our division to worry about for common opponents. But at the moment, not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's week 3. We have time to correct things, folks. It's okay to feel like, oh shit, that was awful. This could be bad. That's fine. But know that we have time to correct it. Know that they're going to correct it. And if they don't, a lot of these dudes are going to be looking for new jobs.
Yeah.
So like, real quick, guys, like I just want to pivot, like, still on a football thing, but what is so crazy to me, and we're gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. We're just not gonna talk about them because Kansas City's still playing and Buffalo don't play till tomorrow. But we're coming out of Sunday, and the only undefeated teams left is Pittsburgh and the Vikings.
Yeah, nobody saw those two being 3-0 at any point.
So which is, and I'm saying that to piggyback off of what you just said, Curtis, about you think about the losses and things like that. I think these are things that can be cleaned up, and Minnesota just happens to be a team that just might be good this year.
Yeah.
Will they go deep in the playoffs? We'll see. But right now it's only week 3, and I think I don't know. I'm not happy by far with what happened today, what transpired today. Do I want to fire the whole team? No, the only person I want to fire is like Jeremy Tussle. We just stick him on the bench. But everybody else, it's fine. It was a bad game. It happens. We got the Jets beat the brakes off us last year, so it's fine. I know CJ got hurt, but still, it's fine. I'm not gonna.
How many more weeks is it before Christian Harris plays?
He's supposed to
I
be,
think 3.
I think 4 weeks.
Oh,
And
4. So 1 more week.
yeah. Now I don't know when they're going to activate the 21-day window, but he is supposed to be eligible to return after the 4th week. So
Okay.
we probably see him week 5, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
But
something's got to give. The coaching is going to figure it out. I have faith in D'Amico. I have faith in Matt Burke. I have faith in Slow. Bobby DeBrain. I have faith in him that they will figure this out.
and he needs to. Bobby's got
Oh,
more riding on this season than a lot of people do. Bobby's trying to parlay this into a head coaching career. And if he comes out the rest of this season and kind of drums up the performances that we got today, he's not going anywhere. People are going to be like, oh, well, we figured out how to stop him. Maybe he's not that big a
Mhm.
deal. So
He's definitely creative. There's no question that he's a very creative coach.
it's true.
But the timing of his play calling is going to need to be corrected. He's got to figure out some type of scheme to fix this offensive line. He did it last year. He figured out a scheme to make these guys look playable. Right now, they don't look playable. They don't look.
Yeah.
And our offensive line is our highest paid position group.
And that's my issue because I felt like, as you said, at the end of last year, they started looking better at the end of last year. And I believe that they started looking better because we got the run game going. Singletary just started looking great. And I felt like getting the run game going helped out a lot with CJ. And it was just, it was I know it's a team effort. I just felt like it made the offensive line look so much better than they actually were.
But these guys are different than they were last year. They're actually different guys on the offensive line than they were last year.
Yeah, Juice isn't even playing the same position that he was last year.
Yeah, because he's playing center now, right?
Yeah.
He was playing left guard last year.
Yeah.
And George Fant was playing right tackle.
Yeah, but I thought that was only because a lot of people were saying. I thought George Fant was only in there because people were hurt.
But they played better.
Yeah.
Fant was supposed to only be in there until Titus Howard got back on. He was on like IR or whatever, pup, and then he came back week 4 or 5 last season. But
got hurt.
Fant was playing pretty damn well to that point. And in fact, he was playing, like, according to PFF, he was playing as good, if not better, than Titus has ever played at right tackle. So they were like, okay, well, we're going to find somewhere else for you, Titus. And then they played him at left guard, and he was ass. Like, he was terrible at left guard.
Yep.
And then he got hurt, and he missed most of the season. I think he was actually in the game, or in about 5-6 games last year, before he had some sort of knee blowout in probably like week 11.
So
look, we've got depth at places. I think that these coaches just want to give the starters, every available opportunity to lose their job, if that makes sense.
You remember when the weakness on our offensive line was the left guard center combination?
Yeah. Might still be.
And now it's still a weakness, but it's not our biggest weakness right now.
Yeah.
It's your veterans. Your 2 young guys, you can tell that they're out there trying and giving their all. But the guys that are the old guys, Shaq Mason, Titus Howard, and Laramie Tunsil, are the ones that look lost.
Yep. And which is kind of weird, if you ask me. But I mean, the Vikings did bring a lot of interior pressures. They did a lot of stunts inside to confuse the guard center guard triangle, and it worked a lot. Shaq Mason at times this season, like, that's definitely when people are blitzing, that's where they're coming at, because they know Juice is young, they know Kenyon is young, and they know that Shaq Mason is not trying to run a lot. There's been times where they do stunts and Shaq Mason just kind of like, oh, my guy's gone. I'm gonna go do something else now.
There's a couple plays they showed right there. Shaq Mason was literally blocking air.
Yeah.
There was nobody in front of him, and CJ was rolling out hard to the right.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like Madden. It's like old school Madden.
Mhm.
When they don't.
The linemen don't even react to like pressure.
They just stand there.
Yeah. You're just running around trying to not
Looking,
Oh my god.
looking like flag football. Got it.
for real. Like everybody's trying to set a pick.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Just, like I say,
It's gonna get
a
better.
lot of things to be
It's gonna
upset
get
with.
better.
I agree, and it's fine. And honestly, hey, look, it happens. Minnesota just might be for real, or they might not be. We'll see what happens. Because I've been seeing a lot of teams that were beating the brakes off of teams that apparently this week aren't doing that. So,
Even if nothing else about Minnesota, their defense is for real.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Their defense is for real.
Good defense and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
they
worried.
make you the highest paid receiver in the league. Must have did something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always open. I don't think I can't think of anybody else who's more open than him ever right now.
I can, but we're not going to even go into that.
Yeah.
I can think of some guys.
Look, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap this up, gentlemen.
I know, I agree. Because we ain't gonna do nothing but keep bashing the offensive line. I don't want to do that. Those guys get paid a bunch of money. I don't get paid no money to go out there and do that. And I want to give them guys respect. Because they get paid to professionally play that position. I can't do it. Obviously, I'm not nowhere near offensive lineman size. I could never do that. I'm just taking my frustrations out because they're my team. But still. You know what? False starts have nothing to do with and all that stuff have nothing to do with blocking. though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Those penalties ain't got nothing to do with blocking. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's fine. Just funny.
Yeah. Well, look. Go ahead, head over to Mass 3 Productions on YouTube. Give them a like and subscribe. Head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Like and subscribe. You can do that on all the social medias. You can find me at Curtis PD Network on Twitter. You can go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button on this channel. 165 at the time of this recording. Like to see that number keep jumping. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And most of all, be good people and go Texans.